Okay, so there are several ways to log in Entity Framework. So one of the ways is that, let me scroll down. On the onConfigure, you can basically add the option, use the option builder, and just add the method log2, and you can pass a lambda expression where you will receive the message and just write it to the debug console. This is the easiest way. Doesn't require any external NUET or anything. You can just write it to the debug console, or get that value from there and save it in whatever place you want to save it, in another database, in a file, an XML, whatever. That's one way. And the second way is that you can create a logger factory. And in the logger factory, you have the same pattern of like extensions and um, and configuration. So in here, you can tell, okay, I want to label just in this, like just information, just warnings, just exceptions or whatever. And then you add the output. This can be debug or console, any of those. And something that is really important, this if you do it just like this, you will log only the query, but not the parameters value. So you will log the insert, but you will not log what are you inserting. If you want to see what you are inserting, and this came from Jean-Paul also, you have to enable sensitive data logging. That will include the query and the parameters value. So you will see the insert, and you will see each of the parameters that you're inserting, which value it has. Right now, we're actually running with this. So, and I guess it's the perfect time to show the attach functionality. So the attach is, the idea is, you know that in XPO, if you want to delete a record, you need to first load it, then delete it. And that can be really heavy, because if the object is complex, you will load that object with a lot of other references just to delete it. So for the touch functionality, there's a controller for that also here. What you do is, knowing something about the object, you can attach it and start tracking the changes. So, for example, in here, we have almost the same case as the concurrency. Actually, it's the same object. We create an instance, and then we commit it to the database. Then from that instance, we get the ID and the timestamp. We need the timestamp for one reason, because we need to tell them it's the same raw version that we were using before, because we are using the concurrency check in this object. If we were not using that, basically, you don't need to add this line. This is just extra because of the concurrency check. And you will see it will make sense when we see the query. So then what will happen is, like, I can create a proxy. You need to understand that proxy theory about Entity Framework Core. Also, XAF use it. So I create a proxy. Basically, I create an empty placeholder of an object, and I tell it, this is your ID, and this is your timestamp. So it will assume that this object was loaded from the database as, instead of loading it, it will assume, because it has the proper information to track it, which is the timestamp and the ID. And then we get the DB context and we attach it. And then basically with the object space, we delete this object and we commit the changes. So what will happen in here is that we will commit the object. We will create an object in memory that we know the timestamp and the ID. We delete it, so we'll not load it again from the database, and you will see the query that it gets generated. So let's run this, because I found this beautiful in the case of mass updates and mass delete. There was one extension for XPO created by Robert Anderson, Zero Sharp, that did something like this for mass delete and mass update. The only thing that you couldn't handle was reference properties, but you could handle like primitive properties to create an object or to create an update or a delete without loading the objects. So Okay, so let's go to, well, here we have the controller. So let's get the console first. And attach object. So here you see that it created the insert. So inserted the object. So let's clear this. And you will see that there are no other queries from here on. When we continue, we already attach an object. So this object that is attached, it has the, well, here you can see it. You can see the ID here in this tooltip. And if I delete it, it will just create the delete query. And when I commit the update, it will just happen. It's deleted, mark it as deleted. Then when I commit, you see here, delete from, and there where ID and timestamp both need to match. If I only had the ID, it will tell that there is a concurrency error because it's not the same. You're deleting a record that someone else has changed because it will have a different timestamp. So this is really nice and kind of really simple here, the implementation. So I will put the link for this repo also in the chat so you can grab it from there.
There is no select, we are not loading anything, just a delete directly with the where, good to go.
That's just imagine that we have 1 million records there.
That's beautiful.